And howdy, everybody. Come on in and welcome to the Inland Sports Show. It's Wednesday night, just about 6:05 first pitch. We appreciate you tuning in. And again, last week we were beginning to get some guidance, some direction on what the upcoming sports seasons will look like, not only for high school, but for colleges. Breaking news today that the Big West Conference, which includes UC Riverside, they are pushing back their fall sports. They are postponing them possibly to the spring. So they are exploring the opportunity of playing the fall sports in the spring, but it's not set in stone quite yet. They did point out in the press release that the winter sports, like men's and women's basketball, have not been affected yet. So the postponement of fall sports in the Big West Conference is coming, but basketball not affected yet. Later in the show, we will have Dominic Pickett, the pride of UC Riverside, the pride of the Rancho Verde High School. Special moment for Dominic Pickett. We're going to share with you a little bit later in the show. Talking a lot of high school football as well. Football will begin in January with games, practices in December. So we are inching along as we get a little bit closer to the football season here in the southern section and the Inland Empire. So a little bit later in the show, we will have Billy Cardosi. He is the head football coach at Kaiser High School. And then joining us live right now on the show, in fact, this is kind of breaking news in a way because this is still relatively new. He is the new head football coach at JW North. He is the head coach of the Huskies. It's Opalani Vaipulu. And Coach, first off, congratulations. I know, Dennis Brown, he's a friend of the show. He's moving back into the administrative role as the AD, and then you slide right in to take over JW North. What are your thoughts on taking over the Huskies?
I'm excited, man. I'm blessed. It's kind of happened before, Paulie a little bit. It was a little surprising right now, obviously with what's going on. And then I think he's a great choice for AD at any school. He's a great guy. He's been a mentor, since I was playing for him back in the days. And he's been a great assistant principal and AD at every other school he's been at. So,
well, Coach Vaipulu, you probably know that you have to have a great relationship between your head football coach and the athletic director to make things successful, right? You got to have that great relationship, and obviously having Dennis Brown in that role, it should work out great for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's not going to be far away. If I have any problems or I run into something, I can just walk down the hallway and ask him a question. So I think it's a great situation for me. I'm extremely blessed and excited to take over and kind of build on what we've been building here so far the last couple of years.
Yeah, and Coach, speaking of that, 10-2 last year, 5-0 to win the Inland Valley League. Now you guys move up to the Sun Belt League. Talk about the success that you guys had last year and hoping to, carry that on into this upcoming season, which will start in January, because you've got a lot of great players coming back.
Yeah, for sure. And I think last year's success is a testament to the players, obviously, especially the seniors last year. They bought in. Remember, we came in like July of 2017, I believe, or 18, and kind of took over and had a kind of ups and downs, and then had a real first offseason with those guys and really concentrated on getting them stronger and building the culture. And so we're, extremely excited with the results last year, and hopefully, the classes and underclassmen from last year build upon that for this year. Hopefully, with the season, if we have one, hopefully, fingers crossed in January.
I know. That's the thing. Like, we're all hoping that the season will start in January, like the CIF kind of, laid out for everybody. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that things will obviously continue to improve in the next couple of months as we get closer to that. But, Coach, I want to kind of go back to some of your star players that you have coming back this year. And I've got to give a shout out to Vinacio Micaele. Man, have you ever seen a guy like him? There's not a lot of Vinacio Micaeles walking around. This guy, he's so young still, though. He was so good.
Yeah, he's good. He's a great player. He's a hard worker, and again, he's only going to be a junior now, 2 years starting. I'm a little bit biased because I've been in Riverside. I know a lot of great running backs came out of the area, but he's up there with a lot of them. So we're excited for what the upcoming season has for him, and hopefully his prospects for the next level.
And I also want to give a shout out to your big lineman, Austin Berry, who just committed to Arizona State University. And, Coach, I'm kind of old-fashioned. I think if you can control the line and run the football, you're going to win a lot of football games.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And Austin's a four-year starter, so he's been starting since the freshman year. So he's, that's just unique in itself. And then for such a big guy, because he's legitimately 6'5", 6'6", and they can move well and is athletic like that, a lot of college coaches are, like, oh, dang, okay. And so, we're happy for him. He's blessed. He committed. He's going to be a Sun Devil. And then we have a couple other players coming up. We have Kayvon Baptiste. He just committed to San Jose State. He's another DB, and a couple other guys from this class that are getting some looks. And hopefully, again, with the season, they can really build on their resume.
Coach, because of the success you had last year with this group of players, do you feel like coming back this year they feel maybe a little bit more confidence, maybe some momentum going into the season, knowing, hey, we had such a great run last year, 10-2, going into the playoffs, winning a playoff game, going deeper into the playoffs maybe than a lot of people expected, that this year they're like, okay, let's see what that next step is. Can we make it to a CIF title game? Who knows?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they just bought in, we're building a structure and a culture that Coach Brown brought in, and just, being in the weight room and trying to maximize individually their strength and all their talent, but them believing and believing in us and continuing to work. And they see the fruits of their labor last year. So hopefully, again, we were working our butts off up until March, and then, obviously right now we can only do Zoom workouts and Zoom meetings and stuff like that. But I think, going into March from the offseason, we were ready to go.
And, Coach, that goes right into my next question because, like you said, March hit and everything basically just shut down at a standstill. So, obviously, technology like Zoom that we're using right now, you can still, connect and stay in touch with your players and coaches. But what do you think the next couple of months might look like as you get ready for a football season? Are you hoping we, at some point, if we get the kids back on campus and you can maybe start doing some workouts, or I don't know if it's 7-on-7, like we missed the summer, maybe we go back and do 7-on-7. Like, I don't know what the next couple of months might look like.
The good thing is just set dates, so now we can kind of plan for it, And so during this time, we just had a bunch of Zoom meetings, offensive, defensive meetings, team meetings, and sending out workouts for the kids to do at home. And of course, everything is predicated on what the government does, what the governor says, the county says, and the district says. So we're going to follow those guidelines and protocols, and hopefully, who knows what's going on up in the news, but there's supposed to be vaccines coming up. And, hopefully the ball starts rolling and we can get into the different phases where we end up having a season.
Well, Coach, the season, I think the first Friday of high school football would be like January 8th. And what's so funny to me is that, here we normally start the football season. Week 0 was supposed to be August 21st, and it could easily be over 100 degrees. And now we're going to have a football season where it could be really cold. It could be really wet.
And who knows? You know how Riverside and IE is in that time. It's flipped. So. Or some instead of warm gear, or the cold gear, wet gear, and all that stuff.
Do you have a preference? Like, does it matter to you? Do you enjoy the heat more than the cold, or the cold compared to the heat?
Man, it doesn't matter, man. Football, we play wherever. So That's what, we prepare to play whatever weather, wherever we play at, it doesn't matter. We just hopefully, again, this season we have a season. That's the main thing, and everybody at home, stays with their mask on and makes sure this thing goes away so we have our season.
Coach, do you think, for yourself and maybe your coaches and players, that whenever you actually get to return to campus and practice with your guys, or maybe even that first game, that you might just enjoy it a little bit more, considering we've had it taken away, and sometimes we take things for granted, even something as a football practice with the guys, or a workout, or going into the gym and lifting some weights. I mean, do you think you'll enjoy those little moments a little bit more, considering it was taken away from us?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it still can be. That's the scary part, and I mean, they saw it firsthand with the spring sports guys, the baseball players, some of those track guys, seniors. You feel for those guys. It was their last season as a Husky, man, and they couldn't do it. So, of course, you're gonna be grateful for what we can get. And again, I think once you put those pads on and start going, they'll really, again, feel grateful that hopefully, there's a season, I guess. Hopefully, again, that's the main word for me and our guys.
Mm-hmm. Well, Coach Vaipulu, as you take over for Coach Brown, what's kind of your mindset going into this year? Is it, if it's not broke, don't fix it? Like, if you have a good thing going, you don't want to make too many changes? Or do you feel like, I got to put my stamp on the program, we're going to look a little bit different this year? What's kind of your game plan going in as you take over for Coach Brown?
I think it's in the same thing. And I was a part of rebuild at Poly, and then here too. I've been blessed to be around Coach Brown and been honored to work underneath him and learn from him and help him build those foundations and coaches of different schools. So again, we're just going to build upon what we've been building so far. Of course, it's going to be then that's Coach Brown up there talking all the time. It'll be me, the offense to hear a little bit more of my voice than just the defense. But like you said, man, if it's not broke, keep going.
And finally, Coach, I like to ask a lot of the coaches and the athletes that we interview here on the show, what have they been up to during this quarantine period? It sounds like there's a lot of honey-do lists, like a lot of home projects, inside and outside, out in the yard and stuff. How have you spent the last couple of months with no football?
Well, like you said, a lot of people are working on their houses and stuff, and my dad has his own construction masonry company. So, unfortunately for me, I'm not built to work that way anymore, like back when I was in high school and college. So I've been outside helping my dad out, or, complete a bunch of his projects out and about in the IE area, building walls, concrete, all that stuff. So if anybody knows that work, it's tough work.
That is tough work.
I'm looking forward for the season starts to get out of it,
Well, Coach, I appreciate you joining the show. Congratulations on the promotion to head coach at JW North. Very well deserved. Please tell Dennis Brown we said hello, and hopefully we can do this again as we get closer to January and the actual start of the season.
For sure. I appreciate the invitation, man. I've always been wanting to come on here and talk with you on here, so it's a very blessing for me. I appreciate what you guys do for the sports out here, man.
Well, thank you, Coach. Thank you very much. That's OP Vaipulu, the head football coach at JW North. The Huskies, one of our favorites around here, taking over a very good Huskies team going into next season. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show, we'll talk more high school football. Billy Cardosi, the head football coach from Kaiser, will join us, and right around the corner from that, Dominick Pickett from UC Riverside basketball. We'll be back on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show.
What's going on, guys? This is Ray Bass from Boost Performance Training. You're watching the Inland Sports Show with the one and only Pep Fernandez.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona. Mike's Fitness Equipment. Check out the new storeroom on La Cadena. Quality fitness equipment at affordable prices. Mike's Fitness Equipment. And JoJo's Grill-A-Dog, located in the Mountain Grove Shopping Center in Redlands. Let's be frank, not all dogs are created equal. JoJo's Grill-A-Dog. I'm busy. I got things to do. But I really need an oil change. I just need something fast and affordable. Well, I'm right off the 91 in Arlington. Let's go check out Spoiled. And they even got a 10-minute oil change special. I love it.
And then lastly, we have use.
Stickers up, lights reset on day 1.
Okay, looks like you're all set.
Have a good one.
Thank you guys, I appreciate it.
Thanks for everything.
Spoiled, quick, quality oil change right off the 91 freeway at Arlington.
I would say the one thing that we stress more than anything else is service to our customer. Make sure that they're taken care of, whatever you can do to make sure that that order gets to them on time and it's the right quality and what they want. I've been that way since 1976. That was my goal, to reach out to local sports programs, and it's grown from there, and we've been very, very fortunate. My grandson is right over here. He's working for us, and he's going to college right now, and that's exactly what my son did 20-some years ago, and it keeps on going, you know. We have customers that come in the store that it's amazing. People that I haven't been here since I was a little kid, and I used to come in here all the time. And then now I'm bringing my son in here, or a grandpa that's bringing his grandson in here that came in here when we first opened back in '76. We just feel so fortunate to have been a part of this community and this Inland Empire for going into our 44th year now, and it's just been a blessing.
Inland Sports.
Yeah.
So Shohei Ohtani and the Halos, they lost 6-4 at the A's yesterday. They're going to finish up their series today. So Shohei Ohtani did not get a single out as the starting pitcher, but here's the silver lining. Right after Shohei Ohtani left the game, Matt Andrews, the pride of Redlands East Valley High School, the pride of UC Riverside, he stepped in, went nearly 6 scoreless innings, struck out 5. He was fantastic in relief of Ohtani.
Inland Sports.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, live and amplified from Teen Vision TV 16. This is our second show back in the studio after about 4 months, live and amplified from my living room. But we're talking a lot of high school football. We are fired up for football. We are planning for football, even though we won't have official games until January. But we can still look ahead, right? It's never too early. Join us here on the show. He's done the show so many times, and he's always so gracious with his time. For us, it is the head coach of the Kaiser Cats. And Coach Cardosi, who's your daughter right there?
Yeah, it's Aylish. Say hi. Hi. Say, how are you? Hi. All right. Good
Hi,
job.
Aylish.
Hey, you being a good girl? Yeah. All right.
Is she
You gonna
already?
go with Mom?
Is she a Kaiser Cats football fan already?
Oh yeah. She always likes to get on, and you like to watch videos with Daddy and them, huh? Yeah.
Well, when she gets a little older, I'm going to show her the video where you had that great epic rant at the end of that game. I forget what game it was.
Oh, that was after we won. Oh, that was after we won the CIF championship. I was a little fired up. So.
Yeah, I'll make sure she sees that in a couple of years when she gets a little older. But Coach, thank you so much for coming on. And now we do have some direction from the CIF, not only the state office, but the southern section that, football will be, they call it spring, but really it's a winter sport as we're going to have games in January. What was your first impression when you saw the new calendar by CIF that they were going to push the high school football season back a couple months?
Well, it was kind of a glimmer of hope. You know, part of the hard part was planning for not knowing. And that was hard for me. And I know it was hard for our players and our coaches. So at least now we can say, okay, this is what we got. This is what we can plan for. We can start to say, okay, this is what has to be done. You know, we can say to our district and to the health officials, what can we do to prepare? This is what we need to do to prepare to safely play football. When can we safely start to get together? And it was kind of a glimmer of hope for everybody that, okay, all right, no week 0, but we can figure that out. We'll either play 9 games and have a bye, or we'll find somebody to fill in that week 5 spot. And, you know, we're just happy to see that there was an actual schedule put in place.
You know, and I think you're echoing what a lot of coaches were saying, because here we were in the months of June and July when you might be doing some summer workouts or 7-on-7 or something like that, and we didn't know, can we safely still do those things? Can we not? Are we going to have football in the fall? And at least at this point, even if you're like, man, I can't wait till January for football, at least we have a game plan now. At least we have a calendar of when we can actually start. So were the last couple of months, were they kind of challenging as a football coach, because you're like, man, what if they said we could start in August? Like, we're not going to be ready. We haven't done anything.
Right. That was hard. You know, it was very difficult for me to really. I had to say and put my faith in the Lord and say, you know what, Lord, you've put me here. You've put us here for a reason. I'm just going to trust you, because if I didn't do that, I was going to be in a very, very tough and dark place, because it was so difficult of not knowing what's happening. And I just had to say, okay, I'm in this for a reason. How can I, you know, be a better husband, be a better coach, what can I do spiritually to try to get me through this? And that's really what got me through it. And I tried to, you know, pass that sentiment along to our coaches and players as best I could. And you know, that was the thing for me. If I didn't have, you know, my faith, I probably would have taken it a lot harder.
Well, Coach, kind of to piggyback off of that, you know, I know it's definitely tough for a high school football coach to not be around your assistant coaches, not be on campus and see your student athletes and that camaraderie. But I guess if there's a silver lining is that, you know, a lot of football coaches who would normally be hustling around in summer workouts and, you know, weightlifting and this and that the last couple of months, you got to be home with your family. And that's kind of a blessing in disguise, I think, for a lot of football coaches.
That's the way I had to look at it. You know, and it was hard at times because I felt like I was being a little selfish, because I felt for kids, I felt for coaches, I felt for people that aren't as fortunate as my family is and the blessings we've received. You know, I'm okay here at our house. We have a pool, you know, we have food on the table, and, you know, we're able to pay the mortgage now. It used to be the rent. And, you know, I would feel kind of guilty that there were people that were struggling, not just with the virus, but with other economic hardships and depression and whatnot. And I felt for them. And, you know, I said to myself, I just have to, you know, pray for them, let them know that I'm here if they need anything, and that I love them. You know, that's been what's kind of gotten me through this, is just telling people that, hey, I'm here for you. If you need me, I can do whatever. If you just need to talk, you know, and just telling people that I care. And that's been what's worked for me.
Well, Coach, I heard you casually slip it in there about the mortgage. And I know most people, you know, when you bring up mortgage, they're just like, oh, the mortgage, we got to pay the mortgage this month. But for you, it's a great thing, because did you just close today or yesterday on your home?
We closed last week. We've been renting the house we've been living in since 2017. And I was literally on my knees praying about if we should buy a home and where we should buy that home. And while I was praying, my wife's got a text literally while I was on my knees praying, and it was from the property manager saying, do you guys want to buy that house? The owner needs to sell it. And so, you know, God usually doesn't answer prayers like that. And it happened for us. And I like sharing that story. And we closed escrow last week, and we're now getting ready to start the remodel. So it's pretty exciting.
You're a man of faith, Coach Cardosi, and I love it. Hey, I do want
trying to be. You know, I've come a long way. People that haven't seen me for a long time probably think I'm nuts, and they're like, talking. But you know, people change and people go through some things, and you know, it opens their eyes. You know, especially when you go through an adoption and you don't have any control, and no one can make you feel better about the control you don't have over your own child. And it really, really has tested our faith and my faith and brought me closer to the Lord.
That's absolutely awesome, Coach. And yeah, it's very comforting to know that that you can lean on the Lord on certain things, whether it's, buying a home or raising a family and certain things, like that. But I do want to circle back to your schedule, because I know this has been kind of a challenging thing for a lot of coaches out there, because you're right, they did eliminate week 0. So now you have a 9-game schedule, and there was a lot of teams scrambling around trying to find an extra game, trying to find a partner out there that had the same week open. And I know most people, I wouldn't say all, but a lot of teams had that week 5, which would normally be like a bye week right before league play. Did you have to alter your schedule at all to kind of make it all fit?
Right now, our week 5 is open, and we don't have a game. I reached out to Jesse Cisneros from El Monte, and I wanted to play them in the double wing, but they already had scheduled Long Beach Wilson. And other than that, I've been focusing on the house, and I really have kind of just said, you know what, if it happens, it happens. If we play 9, we play 9. And we'll look if there's teams out there that say, hey, we'd like to play you. I'll run it by our coaching staff. We have a great coaching staff, and shout out to those guys. I love those guys. Pray for those guys every day. And I'll run it by them, and we'll decide whether or not playing that week is good for us or not. And, we'll have to make that determination. But we are open if there's people out there that are looking for a week 5.
Well, Coach, listen, I love you like a brother, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot, but I do know Centennial needs a week 5, because they're always tweeting me. So you can play Centennial.
That's not, I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. To even suggest that. You need to call like UMG or something, I mean, come on. I mean, aren't they in the Trinity League or something? I mean, they should be.
Close, very close to it.
I mean, come on, that's like, come on. I love Logan. I love what they do. I have nothing but respect for Corona Centennial, but come on. I mean, they have like 500 kids on their team.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we'll have a football team when we get back together, if we'll even have 3 levels. So Logan has like period 1 through 6 football every period. So come on. I've been to their practices. It's a machine.
Yeah.
And we're a high school football team. They're kind of like a, junior college. They could beat. I'm sorry. I think they could beat some of our junior colleges in the area. No disrespect, but I mean, maybe they could play a JUCO team or something.
Yeah, maybe CIF will bend the rules and they can play RCC or SBC.
Yeah, they're awesome. Nothing but respect, but we're not playing them.
Coach, what do you think the next couple of months might look like for high school football teams? Because I think until we're allowed to have kids back on campus, I think the Zoom thing and doing that communication, will be maybe the most effective thing you can do. But what do you think once we get the green light that kids can come back on campus? Do you think we might be able to have, make up for time missed, doing 7-on-7, doing, weight rooms and workouts and all that stuff?
I would hope that we could have, spring and summer type activities leading up to the holiday season. It's kind of weird to say that, but, let's hope that, we can get over this issue that we have. There's a lot of moving parts with this COVID thing, and, everybody has an opinion of how dangerous it is and whatnot. Hopefully we can, the Lord can heal the land, and we can come to a consensus as a people and say, okay, we think it's okay for kids to get back together. And I think that's important that we do that, because it is important for kids to get back together. And hopefully we can do that, Pep. Hopefully we can have a spring type football, whether it's in October or November, hopefully it's October, September, and then we can do summer stuff like around November and things like that. I know there's coaches that have already sent emails out about, hey, we're going to try to do our passing league deal. I know Coach Esposito has sent something out from Temecula Valley. He does a great job. And they're trying to, make plans and say, hey, if we can, we're willing. And I know we're in the boat, we're not there yet, but, with our plan yet, I got to sit down with our coaches. Once our school district and our administration decides our schedule is definite, we can sit down and make a plan as a staff, like this via Zoom and go from there. But hopefully we can get through this, Pep, and we can do that. That's what I'm hoping we can do, but it's up to the Lord for that, and hopefully I'm just going to pray that he grants that for us.
Well, Coach, let's just assume for this conversation things continue to improve and we can safely, bring kids back on campus and football activities resume. Have you thought about what it might be like that, you could have football practices, or you probably will, around Christmas, around New Year's Day, like you're getting ready for that first game of the year. You're hanging Christmas lights and you're also getting ready for your game one opponent.
Well, not to brag, but at Kaiser, we know what it's like to practice in December. For some people, but we know what it's like. And it's kind of fun. It is fun to go to practice with Christmas music on Coast. That's happened throughout my career as a coach under Coach Brook and Coach Elia. So it's kind of been a thing, and it's fun. And it's exciting. I'm looking forward to the challenge. Whatever task is laid out in front of us, it's a challenge that you kind of take on, and it's exciting. It's just talking about it, Pep. It gets me excited. I'm excited to think about it. I really miss the kids. I love our kids. When I first started as a head coach, I read somewhere that it's important that you tell your players that you love them. And man, I've been sending it over our team app and through digital ways like this. But man, I can't wait to see them and be able to tell them in person. And hopefully COVID allows me to, grab a few of them and hug them and tell them, because I know some of them need it. Mm-hmm. And I just really miss them, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think people kind of lose sight how important the football family, that dynamic, and then the head football coach is to a lot of his players, and being absent, not seeing them for months and months is hard.
To this day, it is something that I. If I was selfish, I could, like I said earlier in the conversation, I could just say, you know what, whatever, I'm going to go get my pool, I'm going to barbecue, I'm good. But I truly do worry about some of our kids. Some of them have, I don't know, they've just not been connecting with us, through, Zoom and things like that. And I worry about them. They're not responding to messages, and, maybe they don't have internet access. I think the best, try to think positive, but I know there are some kids that are hurting, and I just pray that the Lord heals their heart. And hopefully they come back, and we do have 3 levels. Who knows what's going to happen when we get back together? Because I think at least at our school, I think it's important for us to be able to get back together, because I think our kids are going to need that. They're going to need to say, oh yeah, there's practice at Kaiser. I think this whole kind of online thing, and it's kind of confused them a little bit. And when I meet with them for the first time when our school starts, they're going to be told that it's mandatory. It's not like it was last year when we were kind of navigating through COVID. It's a new distance learning model. This is mandatory. It's not like it was before, where the federal and the state government said you have to, make sure kids were harmless. You couldn't really, hold them to certain things. We're going to hold them to a certain standard this time, and hopefully they're ready.
Well, Coach, football season will be right around the corner. We appreciate the time, and best of luck with all those home remodeling jobs. We appreciate it. That's Billy Cardosi, the head football coach at Kaiser High School, joining us here on the Inland Sports Show, one of our favorite guys. When we come back, we're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, though, we will have Dominick Pickett from UC Riverside and the pride of the Rancho Verde High School. We'll be back on the Inland Sports Show.
This is Alexander Madison. You're watching the Inland Sports Show.
I always tell, my student athletes that, hey, gains are gains. It's everyone's where they're at, and all you have to worry about is making those small improvements. I see, I've been doing this for 10 years now, and I see kids who start off, slow and end up being really good, and talented student athletes, and I see others who start off really fast and they end up, petering out. And a lot of that has to do with, the hype of being a young student athlete and having all this shine, all this glory, and then you stop working. So, and I hate that. I feel like that's one of the things as a coach you have to, really hammer into your athletes that, it's a journey, and starting in high school or even making it to college, it's just all part of the journey, but not the destination. The destination is growth. Destination is to keep moving forward. So what I do want to see is I want to see them grow. I want to see them grow academically. I want to see them grow physically. And as long as we get that growth, they're going to see some change. They're going to be better off than where they were, and it's going to set them on a good path athletically and academically throughout life. So if you think you're ready to grow, if you think you're ready to move out of your comfort zone, then come train here at Boost, because I tell you right now, it's not a place to be comfortable. We're going to push you. We're going to help you grow. But if you think you're ready for it, come check us out.
Hey, Billy here from Spoiled in Riverside. Just opened up our new location off the 91 in Arlington in Riverside. Come check us out and get spoiled for a change.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona. Mike's Fitness Equipment. Check out the new storeroom on La Cadena. Quality fitness equipment at affordable prices. Mike's Fitness Equipment. And JoJo's Grill-A-Dog, located in the Mountain Grove Shopping Center in Redlands. Let's be frank, not all dogs are created equal. JoJo's Grill-A-Dog.
Hey guys, Pep Fernandez here from the Inland Sports Show. First and foremost, I hope everyone out there and their families are healthy and safe right now. I know we all want sports to come back. We want to see them sooner than later, and the quickest way to do that is by simply wearing a face covering. The County of Riverside has a website called pledgetofightcovid.com. In fact, it's on your screen right now. And basically, we just want people to pledge that if you wear a mask, if you social distance, if you wash your hands frequently, that is the quickest way to get kids back in school, get people back to work. And again, I know it's not the most important thing, but we all love sports and we want to see them sooner than later. We have a lot of Inland Sports masks. I know I'm not getting out quite as often as I'd like a lot of you out there, but when I do, we will start distributing a lot of these masks. We got ours at Ken's Sporting Goods. There's the website on your screen. If you're a local business, maybe an organization, a school, or a team, you can get yours as well. That's kensportinggoods.com. And again, if you want local sports to return, we got to do three things. Cover your face, maintain your space, and wash your hands just in case.
I'm busy. I got things to do. But I really need an oil change. I just need something fast and affordable. Well, I'm right off the 91 in Arlington. Let's go check out Spoiled. And they even got a 10-minute oil change special. I love it.
And then lastly, how do you
Stickers up, lights reset on day 1.
Okay, looks like you're all set.
Have a good one.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks for everything.
Spoiled. Quick, quality oil change right off the 91 freeway at Arlington.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show here. We appreciate you tuning in every Wednesday night. If you haven't done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us on the Inland Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter. We're on Instagram as well. We'd appreciate it as we try to build up our audience here in the Inland Empire, because again, there is plenty to talk about as we go forward and get ready for real games here in the Inland Empire. I know a lot of professional sports have either started or are starting. And coming up in our next segment, Cullen Holt's going to join us here live in studio as we kind of showcase and feature some of our local athletes from the Inland Empire who have gone on to the pros and are doing big things already in Major League Baseball and the NBA. So that's just in a moment. But the big news that we had off the top of the show, you know, we're waiting for some guidance from a lot of different organizations like the CIF. We got that from the CCC 2A, which is the governing body for junior colleges here in California. We got that as they all shift to that spring model with games, technically, I guess you would say, in the winter. And now we've got some guidance from the Big West Conference. They have said that sports in the fall sports, will be pushed to the spring, at least the opportunity to play in the spring. So they are going to be postponed And maybe they would play in the spring again if things continue to improve, if they can safely do so. That would be the model for fall sports in the Big West Conference, which again would include UC Riverside. Now, they also did point out in the press release that the winter season, which would be basketball, men's and women's basketball, were not affected by this postponement. So basketball would start, their first games early in November. So they have said as of right now, at this point, basketball season is still intact. So they are making plans to push forward with the basketball season. But again, will they start on time in terms of practices? I know a lot of teams would start returning to campus very, very soon. In fact, at California Baptist, they have returned to campus for outdoor workouts, which we talked about last week. And head coach Rick Croy will join us here live on the show next Wednesday here on the Inland Sports Show. But they have said that, once students can return to campus, that will kind of accelerate that process of being able to play real sports. And we're seeing it across the country with like a lot of college football conferences going conference only, but they are choosing to play. So that's good news that they're going to at least have a conference season for football. And if they can safely get students back on campus here in California, like the Big West Conference, hopefully we'll see practices beginning for basketball sooner than later. So we'll see how that works out. When we come back here, we will have Cullen Holt back here live in studio as we talk about our local Inland stars at the professional level. And we'll bring back Dominick Pickett from UC Riverside and the pride of Rancho Verde. He had a big moment just the other day that we want to share with everyone else as well. We'll be back here on the Inland Sports Show.
96.7 KCal Rocks. What's up? It's Patrick and 40. Hey, man, you're watching the Inland Sports Show right here. Make sure you check out Pep, man. It's Inland Sports with Pep, but he's on every Monday and Thursday morning with Sports with Pep, man. You guys rock.
Hey guys, Pep Fernandez here from the Inland Sports Show. First and foremost, I hope everyone out there and their families are healthy and safe right now. I know we all want sports to come back. We want to see them sooner than later, and the quickest way to do that is by simply wearing a face covering. The County of Riverside has a website called pledgetofightcovid.com. In fact, it's on your screen right now. And basically, we just want people to pledge that if you wear a mask, if you social distance, if you wash your hands frequently, that is the quickest way to get kids back in school, get people back to work. And again, I know it's not the most important thing, but we all love sports and we want to see them sooner than later. We have a lot of Inland Sports masks. I know I'm not getting out quite as often as I'd like a lot of you out there, but when I do, we will start distributing a lot of these masks. We got ours at Ken's Sporting Goods. There's the website on your screen. If you're a local business, maybe an organization, a school, or a team, you can get yours as well. That's kensportinggoods.com. And again, if you want local sports to return, we got to do three things. Cover your face, maintain your space, and wash your hands just in case.
The Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Spoiled Quick Quality Oil Change. Spoil yourself and your car at Spoiled. Kin Sporting Goods. They have all of your sporting gear needs, Letterman's jackets, and team uniforms. Boost Performance Training with Coach Ray Bass. Athletes of all levels and all sports are going to Boost Performance Training in Corona. Mike's Fitness Equipment. Check out the new storeroom on La Cadena. Quality fitness equipment at affordable prices. Mike's Fitness Equipment. And JoJo's Gorilla Dog, located in the Mountain Grove Shopping Center in Redlands. Let's be frank, not all dogs are created equal. JoJo's Gorilla Dog.
We talk about this a lot with our student athletes. We talk about working hard. We talk about grinding. We talk about, how hard you work. But at the end of the day, it's about, applying the right effort. If you're constantly doing things that are easy for you, that's not really the right effort. The right effort moves you out of your comfort zone. The right effort moves you closer to your goal. So, I talk about, what are you doing at night? What are you doing to prep for the next day? Are you staying up at night being on social media? Or are you, watching television? Are you, eating junk food? Are you getting a good night's sleep, which is going to help prepare you mentally and physically to grow the next day? Is your training moving you out of your comfort zone? Are you doing things are you working on your weaknesses? Or are you doing things that you're already good at? So, there's a lot of effort. A lot of kids say they work hard, but you're not working hard unless you're doing things that aren't easy. Because if you're doing what's easy, it's just, it's not really hard work. It's work, but it's not the right work. So if you're ready to put in that right work, the right effort, then come on down, check us out at the Boost Performance Center.
God, first of all, I thank the great people that I've got around me that help support me, the people that work for me. As I started, if it wasn't for the people around me, we probably wouldn't be here right now, but I've got a great staff. I've got great people that do stuff for us outside the store, and we've been very, very fortunate. Our service is impeccable, and we just keep trying to get better every year. We can do online stuff for your teams, as well as, like I said, the screen printing, the embroidery. We also have 3 women that do extra sewing for us, like tackle tool on uniforms, or the bling or rhinestones for different shirts for the ladies. That's why we have certain racks just for certain schools, and the fun about that is that it turns into other schools that may come in here that aren't as close, that we can do stuff for them as well. We've had very, very good customers throughout the years, and it's just been a blast.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show, everybody. We got a big segment here. We've got Dominick Pickett from UC Riverside coming up. Cullen Holt standing by to kind of feature some of our local stars who have made it to the big time, NBA and Major League Baseball. But we go to Dominick Pickett first. He had a very special moment for UC Riverside just the other day. Of course, if you're a fan of the Rancho Verde, you already know all about Dominick Pickett. He's now at UC Riverside. And Dom, first off, thanks for joining us on the show, and it was a special moment the other day as the team was all together. I think it was like a Zoom call, and you had all the players and coaches, and Coach Magpayo was able to share with everyone, including yourself, and I think it was a surprise, that you are now on a full ride scholarship with the Highlanders. How cool was that?
Yeah, so first I just want to say thanks, Pep, for having me on the show today. It means a lot. But just going into that moment, like you said, it was a bit of a surprise to me, but couldn't be more thankful and honored to represent the university and really get to this point. But again, it's far greater than just myself. Shout out to my teammates, coaches, for just giving me the opportunity to lead this program from day one. Never looking at me as sort of the lesser, giving me equal opportunity and really giving me the chance to lead this group of guys, which has brought me to this point. So again, couldn't be more thankful for this whole program.
Well, Dom, as I was walking into the studio today, I was told, hey, let Dom know that Rancho Verde loves him. The principal loves him. They are so proud of you to be a Rancho Verde Mustang and what you've been able to do at UC Riverside as well. And what I think is kind of special in this as well is that from what I heard, you're going to now pursue your master's degree, so you get to play basketball and earn your master's.
Correct. Yeah, I did get in to the master's program at UCR, so actually got both of the news on both parts, athletic and academic, within 24 hours of each other. So it was a real special day, special week for me and my whole family.
Well, Dom, going back to maybe, let's just say your freshman year at UC Riverside to where you are right now, can you talk about your journey, and did you ever think you'd end up in a spot where you'd be on full ride and earning a master's degree?
Well, like most athletes today, coming up high school through middle school, you always want to reach this level. You always want to get a Division I scholarship, play at the highest level, and really showcase your talent, things like that. So I'm pretty sure it's a lot of athletes' dreams. So again, growing up, I always wanted to get to this point and really work towards it my whole life. And I was fortunate enough to be blessed with this program, this group of teammates that I have present and prior, coming into my freshman year all the way through my college career. I was blessed to have outstanding teammates that pushed me every day and really gave me the confidence that I could compete at this level and really help a program succeed. So again, shout out to them, couldn't have done it without my teammates, coaches, and just the whole program in general.
And Dominic, finally, you guys had such a great year last year under head coach David Patrick, and now Coach Magpaio just steps right in. What's kind of your goals for this upcoming year? Because you guys did have a lot of success last year, and you've got a lot of those guys coming back moving forward. And, just having Magpaio on the staff with Coach Patrick, and now he just kind of slides into the head coaching role. It looks like you guys hopefully won't skip a beat.
Yeah. So hopefully, just to start off, hopefully we have a season, we understand this COVID-19 thing needs to be taken serious, and we're all on board with taking the right precautions and things like that to make sure we're all safe, because that's the most important thing. But like you said, at the end of last year, we just felt like we didn't get our full chance. We kind of hit stride through the last week or two of the season. We really had a lot of steam going into the tournament. We felt like we had a good shot at the title. And with the majority of our players coming back, we have this drive to really prove ourselves, and that it wasn't just a one-year thing. We're building something here. And props to Coach Patrick and the coaching staff. They pushed us through his time here, and even now they just pushed us to get better and better. And the main message that we want to really project is although Coach Patrick has departed, nothing is going to change. The coaching staff has placed this culture, and our job is to just continue on with that. So we're really excited to get this thing going, and hopefully we can get to the season because we have a lot to prove.
Yeah, same here. I'm hoping we get the basketball season in, because I'm excited for what you guys could have in store this year at UC Riverside. Dom, congratulations on the scholarship. Congratulations on being accepted to the master's program. Very well deserved. You've earned all of it. And I'm just very thankful that you took some time to join us here on the show. So thank you.
Thank you for having me, Pep. I appreciate it.
All right, that's Dominick Pickett from the Rancho Verde High School, and of course UC Riverside men's basketball. Join us here on the Inland Sports Show. All right, now we're going to turn to some local stars from the Inland Empire who have made it to the pros and doing big things. In fact, we're probably going to do this segment a lot more, because we've got so many great athletes that come out of the IE and they make it big time to the professional level, and they're big time stars. In fact, if you are following social media, if you got on Twitter last night, Joe Kelly basically blew up all of Twitter. With more on that, he is a socially distanced Cullen Holtz on the other side of the studio with more on Joe Kelly and some other guys from the Inland Empire doing big things. Cullen?
Well, you're right, Pep. Just because we don't have local sports in the way we'd like to right now doesn't mean that some of our favorite Inland Empire athletes are doing some really big things at the biggest levels. And like you said, Joe Kelly, well, he kind of made headlines last night. Let's pull up the video and let's go right to the pride of Corona High School and UC Riverside, of course. Joe Kelly, this was just last night against the Astros, rematch of the 2017 World Series. Joe Kelly, he strikes out Carlos Correa and has a few words for him. I'm pretty sure he said something like, "Nice to see you again. Good to have baseball back." It was something like that, right, Pep? But anyways, the bench is clear, and this was moments after he threw a ball behind Alex Bregman too, so tensions were kind of high, and he's an internet sensation overnight. Got hit with an 8-game suspension, which he's currently appealing. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts got a 1-game suspension, but Joe Kelly in the news, one of our favorite Inland Empire athletes, and he had a pretty good outing too in a couple of innings for the Dodgers last night. And then right on the other side of town, we got another UC Riverside guy, but for the Angels. goals. We'll talk a little bit about him in a second, but Matt Andrews had a really good outing as well. He comes in relief. Shohei Ohtani has kind of a short-lived and sluggish outing in his first time back pitching, but Matt Andrews did a real nice job cleaning up. Again, out of Redlands East Valley, he's also a UCR guy. 5 strikeouts over 5 2/3 scoreless innings to take over for Shohei Ohtani. So really good to see these Inland Empire guys do well. And man, you see Riverside baseball with a pipeline to the major leagues. And then here's a guy who played with Andrews at Rev. This is Tyler Chatwood for the Cubbies. He gets the win in a start against the Brewers. Take a look at this stat line. 8 strikeouts in 6 innings pitched for Chatwood. So another good outing for another Inland Empire guy and also a teammate, high school teammate that is, of Andrews. Let's go inside the bubble now. This is Kawhi Leonard for the Clippers. Of course, the pride of Riverside's Martin Luther King High School. Had a real good showing over 3 scrimmages in Orlando. These are some highlights from the scrimmages against the Wizards and the Kings, and he had 33 points over those 3 scrimmages. The Clippers and Kawhi Leonard will start the restart, I guess you could say, against the Lakers. That'll be tomorrow with a tip-off at 6 p.m. And as always, if you see an Inland Empire athlete doing big things elsewhere while we wait for high school football, etc., to come back, you can tweet us at Inland Sports and let us know what's going on. We would love to see it. But again, Inland Empire athletes are doing big things all the time, and the pandemic hasn't stopped them from doing that either. Pep, back to you, buddy.
Awesome. Great stuff, Cullen. We appreciate that. Yeah, we've got IE guys everywhere. If you look hard enough, or if you just jump on Twitter, you'll find them, like a guy like Joe Kelly. We appreciate you tuning in. It's the Inland Sports Show every single Wednesday night, 6:05 first pitch. Big thanks to our main sponsors, Spoiled, quick quality oil change, Kin Sporting Goods, and Boost Performance Training. We love you guys, and we'll see you again soon. And again, I have a bag of Inland Sports masks over here, and I know we're not getting out and about quite as much as we used to, but when we finally do, I know there's a lot of you that want some. I'm going to leave them in my car or leave them in my backpack, and when I see you guys, I'm going to start passing them out, I promise, so we can get those Inland Sports masks out to people who want them. My name is Pep Fernandez. Have a great night. Be safe, and we'll see you again next Wednesday night for another Inland Sports Show.